today's topic is problems on this Fermat's theorem or application of Fermat's theorem to solve problems. What does Fermat's theorem states? In the last video, I proved this Fermat's theorem and also one or two problems I have solved. Fermat's theorem is like this. Suppose P is any prime number, A is any positive integer, so that A and P are relatively prime, then A raised to P minus 1 is 1 mod P. This is Fermat's theorem. P is a prime number, A is a positive integer, so that A and P are relatively prime, then A raised to P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. Suppose A and P are not relatively prime, then A raised to P is congruent to A mod P. Now I consider some problems on this. I think I have solved already few problems. I start with this problem. Prove that n raised to 5 minus n is divisible by 30. See, value of n is not mentioned here, but it is understood. N means natural number or positive integer. For any positive integer n raised to 5 minus n is always divisible by 30. By using this Fermat's theorem, we can easily prove this. What does Fermat's theorem states? This is Fermat's theorem. P is a prime number and then A is any integer. It is not mentioned here, it is relatively prime, therefore I take this one. If P is a prime number, A is any positive integer, A raised to P is A mod P. Now I take 5. 5 is a prime number. Therefore, n raised to 5 is congruent to n mod 5. In place of A, I have taken n. N is any positive integer, 5 is a prime number. By Fermat's theorem, we have this. Fermat's theorem. Therefore, n raised to 5 minus n is congruent to 0 mod 5, or 5 divides n raised to 5 minus n. Take this as 1. This is 1. Now we consider this. Say we have only 5 divides n raised to 5 minus n using Fermat's theorem. But we need to prove that n raised to 5 minus n is divisible by 30. For that we use one more result here. That is, consider n raised to 5 minus n. It is n into n raised to 4 minus 1, or n into n square minus 1 into n square plus 1, n into n minus 1 into n plus 1 into n square plus 1. Say, we have studied one result there on divisibility. The product of r consecutive integers is divisible by factorial r. Remember that result? Product of r consecutive integers is divisible by factorial r. Now say this. What is this? N minus 1, n plus 1. Product of 3 consecutive integers. N minus 1, n plus 1 is divisible by 3 factorial. Product of 3 consecutive integers. What is 3 factorial? 6. Therefore, n minus 1, n plus 1 into n square plus 1 is also divisible by 6. Because if A divides B, then A divides B into x, where x is any integer. Therefore, 6 divides n raised to 5 minus n. Take this as 2. Now we use one important result. If A divides B, A divides or I take A divides C, B divides C, and AB are relatively prime. Result important. If A divides C, B divides C, and AB are relatively prime, that GCD is 1, then A into B divides C. A into B divides C. We apply this result. We may apply this one in next few problem also. Understand the result. A divides C, B divides C, and AB are relatively prime. Then A into B divides C. Therefore, see here, 5 divides n raised to 5 minus n, 6 divides n raised to 5 minus n, and 5, 6 are relatively prime. Since 5 and 6 are relatively prime, 5 into 6 divides n raised to 5 minus n. Therefore, n raised to 5 minus n is divisible by 30. This is the problem. So first step we have used Fermat's theorem. Second step we have used the product of r consecutive integers is divisible by r factorial. Then third result. If A divides C, B divides C, AB are relatively prime, A into B divides C. Using these three results, we have proved this. Next, prove that n raised to 7 is congruent to n mod 42. A similar type problem here. N raised to 7 is congruent to n mod 42. See that types of examples are important. We use same techniques as in the previous result or previous problem. First is 42 is 7 into 6. Correct? 7 into 6. 7 and 6 are relatively prime. Now 6 is, or I take 7 is a prime number. 7 is a prime number. By Fermat's theorem, n raised to 7 is congruent to n mod 7. This is Fermat's theorem. Therefore, 7 divides n raised to 7 minus n. Take this as 1. This is 1. Further, n raised to 7 minus n is n into n raised to 6 minus 1. We factorize like this and we use the next result. What is that? Product of r consecutive integers is divisible by factorial r. We use that result. N into n cube minus 1 into n cube plus 1. N into n minus 1 into n square plus n plus 1. Factorize n cube minus 1. Similarly, factor n cube plus 1. How to factorize? N plus 1 into n square minus n plus 1. We have factorized n cube minus 1 and n cube plus 1. It is therefore n minus 1 n plus 1 into n square minus n plus 1 n square plus n plus 1. Now, what is this? Product of three consecutive integers. N minus 1 n plus 1 is divisible by 3 factorial, that is 6. It is divisible by 6. Therefore, n minus 1 n plus 1 into n square minus n plus 1 into n square plus n plus 1 is divisible by 6. Because if A divides B, then A divides B into X. We have used this result here. All these things are, we have studied. Properties of divisibility, that we have studied in the beginning of the topic. Therefore, 6 divides n raised to 7 minus n. This is 2. Now, 6 and 7 are relatively prime. Therefore, n raised to 7 minus n is divisible by 6 into 7, that is 40. So, divisible by 42 means n raised to 7 minus n is congruent to 0 mod 42, or n raised to 7 is congruent to n mod 42. That is the result. See, this problem is also same as n raised to 7 minus n is divisible by 42. N raised to 7 minus n is divisible by 42. That is expressed in congruent modulo form. I think these two problems, all of you understood the technique here. That is important. In all the problems, same technique we cannot use. Next, if P is a prime number, then prove that 1 raised to P minus 1, 2 raised to P minus 1, 3 raised to P minus 1, plus etc. P minus 1 raised to P minus 1 plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P. 0 mod P. Again, application of Fermat's theorem. What is given here? P is a prime number. Then prove this. What is Fermat's theorem? P is a prime number. A and P are relatively prime. A raised to P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. This is Fermat's theorem. Suppose A and P are not relatively prime, that we have no idea about the relation between A and P. Suppose they are not, it is not given. A is any integer. Then what happens? A raised to P is congruent to A mod P. If A and P are relatively prime, is 1 mod P. This is Fermat's theorem. Now, how we use Fermat's theorem here? P is a prime number. See the procedure. Solution for this problem. P is a prime number. Therefore, it is relatively prime to all the positive integers less than P. Did you understand the concept here? If P is a prime number, it is relatively prime to all the number less than P, and also it is relatively prime to all the numbers greater than P except multiples of P. If I take example, it will be clear. 13 is a prime number. It is relatively prime to 1, 2, 3 up to 12. Because 1, 2, 3, 12 and 13 have no common factors. But it is relatively prime to, this is relatively prime to 14, 15, 16 also, but up to 26. It is not relatively prime to 26. 13 and 26 have common factor, 13. So the result is, if P is a prime number, it is relatively prime to all the positive integers less than P. And also relatively prime to all the positive integers greater than P, but except multiples of P. Now we take this result. It is relatively prime to all the numbers less than P. That means 1 and P are relatively prime. Therefore, 1 raised to P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. Fermat's theorem. 2 and P are relatively prime. Therefore, 2 raised to P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. Correct? Similarly, 3 and P are relatively prime. 3 and p are relatively prime. Therefore 3 raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. Finally, p minus 1 and p are relatively prime. So p minus 1 raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. This is Fermat's theorem. Now, you know the properties of this congruent modulo M. We use that property. What is the property? We can add congruent modulo M relations. Therefore, adding we get 1 raised to p minus 1, 2 raised to p minus 1, 3 raised to p minus 1 plus etc. P minus 1 raised to p minus 1 is congruent to how many 1 are there? 1, 2, 3 etc. p minus 1. Correct? If we add, what is the property used there? A is congruent to B mod M, C is congruent to D mod M, then A plus C is congruent to B plus D mod M. We can generalize that. It is congruent to P minus 1 mod P. P minus 1 mod P. Take this as 1. How do you obtain this result? Adding above result. We can add, because that is property of congruent modulo M. We can add congruent modulo M like this. Here right hand side is 1 plus 1 plus 1 how many times? P minus 1 times. 1 plus 1 2 times is 2. 1 1 1 3 times is 3. 1 1 1 how many times it is there? P minus 1 times. Therefore P minus 1 mod P. But P minus 1 is congruent to is it 1 minus 1 mod P. Correct? P minus 1 is congruent to minus 1 mod P. Now take this as 2. From 1 and 2 by transitive law we have proved all these things. This congruent modulo M is, it is transitive, or more correctly it is an equivalence relation. Congruent modulo M is an equivalence relation, therefore it is transitive. How to apply transitive law here? This is congruent to P minus 1 mod P, but P minus 1 is congruent to minus 1 mod P. Therefore from 1 and 2, 1 raised to P minus 1, 2 raised to P minus 1, 3 raised to P minus 1, P minus 1 raised to P minus 1 is congruent to minus 1 mod P. Therefore 1 raised to P minus 1 plus 2 raised to P minus 1, 3 raised to P minus 1 etc. P minus 1 raised to P minus 1 plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P. That is the required result. See how that Fermat's theorem is used. Fermat's theorem is used. I think all of you will follow the solution. Application of Fermat's theorem. Take one more example. I did this as exercise. Prove that 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 105. 1 mod 105. See the application of Fermat's theorem and also some more results on the prime numbers you have to use. How do you solve this? We write like this: 105 is 2 into 3 into 105 is 3 into 5 into 7. We factorize like this. All 3, 5, 7 they are prime numbers and they are therefore relatively prime to each other. First is 3 is a prime number. 2 and 3 are relatively prime. Therefore, by Fermat's theorem, 2 raised to 3 minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod 3. Correct application. 2 square is congruent to 1 mod 3. Therefore, 2 square raised to 24 is congruent to 1 mod 3. Or 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 3. First result. Similarly, 5 and 3 are relatively prime. 5 and 3 are relatively prime. Not 5 and 3. We take 2 and 5 are relatively prime. And by Fermat's theorem, 2 raised to 5 minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. 1 mod 5. Correct? 1 mod 5. 2 raised to 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5. Therefore, 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 5. This is 2. This is 2. Next, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7. 7 and 2 are also relatively prime. Therefore, 2 raised to 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7. 2 raised to 6 raised to 8 means 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 7. 1 mod 7. Now see the 3 results here. 1, 2, 3. But these 3, 5, 7 are relatively prime. Therefore, 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 3 into 5 into 7. Into 7. 3 into 5 into 7. Therefore, 2 raised to 48 is congruent to 1 mod 105. This is the result. I have to go quickly here because of lack of time. Go through the problem and properties you have to understand. That is important. Okay, I continue next remaining problems in next video.